It is what is called the Feast of Weeks, also known as First Fruits, and also known as Pentecost. Today we're in the 14th day of the count of the Omer. We thank the Most High for giving us the manna that our forefathers consumed, which no nation on the earth can make this proclamation. So it is a blessing to have received the manna from the Most High. Announcements. We have, like I said before the break, we have on the 19th the sewing class. For the sisters that's interested, it's an only sisters sewing class. All right, brothers, there's no sewing class for you. All right, it's just for the sisters. So it's for the sisters to come together, sew, converse, and, in the midst of righteousness, right? So we open up these doors and we set up sewing tables and things of that sort. You can bring your fabric, bring your projects. If you don't have fringes on any of your clothing, that's the time to bring your fringes, your borders, and your shirt or your skirt and get them done up. Come? That's your opportunity. So when the opportunities pass and you don't take hold of it, you can't say, you don't have it. Could you? Huh?
A couple of guys want to know when they're going to be taking orders soon.
So your question is, will the women take orders soon to sew fringes on the brother's clothing? I will find out from the sisters, right? All right. Is there any sister in here at this time would like to take orders for people to get fringes sewn on their clothes? Don't pay, of course, not for free. That any sister that's on a level now that she feels comfortable to sew the fringes on the clothes and has a sewing machine and will do it. You want to take orders for fringes on clothes? Okay.
Yeah, my herbs is not here.
You ever wants to take orders to sew fringes on clothes? Okay. She's at home like, no. It's all right though. It's all right. She can yell at the screen all she wants. We won't hear her. All right. So yes. So we have Itazaz, Isha, and we have Alyssa. Will be taking orders for brothers that need fringes or sisters that need fringes sewn on their clothing. They'll take orders. They'll tell you their price. I don't know what their price will be. Maybe we'll talk about it in a minute. LOZ discount? All right. That's right. What are you doing? Okay. Pentecost. Feast of Weeks. It's going to be held at Oswald Park. Oswald Park. Anybody knows what Oswald Park is? It's actually in Oakland Park. I believe so. Could you to Zion, Babu Kusha, could turn my screen on?
Yeah, we went there last year.
We were there last year. For those that were here last year, all right. Could you put up Oswald Park so it can be seen? 16th of June 16th. June 16th. It was a Sunday. It's always a Sunday, Pentecost. We'll be at Oswald Park. It's a great time. We always have a great time every year. It's an opportunity for our people in the local community to see Hebrews conducting themselves, because every time they see us, we got the Bible in our hand, and we might be yelling at somebody. It's good for them to see us in another light. We do enjoy each other. We enjoy our high holy days and our services and our gatherings. So we'll be out at Oswald Park in sight of all, enjoying the Feast of Weeks. And Zion got it up on the screen. He's going to put it up there momentarily so we can see. Here we go. Oswald Park. Your address is 2220 Northwest 21st Avenue. Fort Lauderdale. It's in Fort Lauderdale. 33311. So it's 2220 Northwest 21st Avenue. Oswald Park. There's a golf course in there? Why would it be a golf course in the hood? Ain't nobody play no golf. Only golf you play is miniature golf. Huh? I said only golf we play is miniature golf. Like people don't play no golf out no field. Riding no cart. All right. Well, what time does it start was the question. What time does it start? Well, we out there from the morning. From the time they let us into the park, we're out there, right? And we start getting the food set up and everything. We like everyone to be there before. Let me say 11. Let me not even mention the other time. 11. All right, be there by 11, Babu Kusha, so that we can have our service and stuff. And we have a short service, but we like everyone to be there by 11. And whatever you're bringing, because everyone brings something, as written in all our high holy days, we have to bring something. So also we need to have the loaves. Who's going to be on the loaves? Who's doing loaves this year? This is doing loaves of bread. Loaves of bread. Should be 2 loaves out of your household. All right. Because handmade. Yes, handmade. Made with your hands. All right. You gonna make 2 loaves? Yes, you.
I'm trying to learn how to make bread right now. That's why I was asking. So I want to sign myself up to experiment.
Well, make them before then and eat them a couple of times. Right? Use YouTube. YouTube can teach you how to do anything. Right? Or bring the loaves out. Right? Oh yeah, we got any loaves coming from your house, Aria? Huh? You'll bring us 2 loaves from your house? Aria's like, why are you asking me? What makes them think that I'm gonna have loaves? Right? But everybody should bring some loaves. Right? Right? This is part of the feast. It's part of how we celebrate the Feast of Weeks. Okay? So now these loaves are leavened. Right, these loaves are leavened. So, there's no need to be unleavened or anything like that. Nothing complicated and difficult. Just 2 loaves. Okay? All right, so, all right. June 16th. Well, it says here the park opens up at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, we'll let that be the time. We'll be there from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it's okay. So we got to rebuke that Father's Day out there, right? Got to open up camp and we got to rebuke the rest of the park that's keeping Father's Day.
You just say we trying to show us in a different way.
Yeah, but just when I thought we could just relax, we got to come out and we got to rebuke Father's Day. Just when I thought we could just relax and enjoy ourselves, we got to have a non-Father's Day. You got to rebuke everybody else in there that's keeping Father's Day. Okay. So we got that. Going. What else we got going? This is usually last week we would have done this. We have a council once a month, once a calendar month for all those that are in Light of Zion. It's an opportunity to voice, your opinion or what you think we need to do or improve or what you can do to help us improve. This council is once a month, first Shabbat of the calendar month, right? Which would have been last Shabbat, but I think we were consumed with other things. So with the new moon, yes, we were consumed with the new moon last week. So we're opening up the floor right now to anyone that have an idea or would like to share something with the Light of Zion, with this body, on how we could either improve or how we've been improving, or any concerns. Um, I'll start by saying, we did a class Wednesday past on 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter. It was a request, right? And we went into it, and the class, was very fruitful. So we're going to be dealing with some more marriage topics as it goes on. This Wednesday, we're actually going to deal with a topic of what or who should we marry, and who can we marry, right? And we're going to deal, what does this mean? We're going to deal with intertribal marriage, outside of tribal marriage. How does it stand within our history, within our culture, within our scriptures? And also dealing with who marry out here in this kingdom, right? And how we approach marriage in this kingdom. All right, so this is going to be mainly for unmarried brothers and sisters, right? It's going to get most edification for this. If you're already married, then of course you're welcome to review the class and get information. But the ones that's going to benefit the most is our unmarried population. Everybody understand that? All right, because they're going to know how to move forward in Scripture, all right, and not make the errors that we have made over the past. Okay, we're going to let the Most High guide us on marrying and the steps for choosing a mate. All right, we're not going to go into actual marriage too much. We're going to go to choosing the mate. All right, choosing your mate. So that'll be this Wednesday. All right, Wednesday class starts at 7. Anybody else? Anybody have any announcements they would like to share? Anything coming up that we should be aware of? Amas. I will. Yeah, I will be. Wednesday coming. Wednesday. All right. I might solicit some assistance in that matter too. If I might have a guest speaker along with myself, but we'll see how that works out. But for the most part, I'll be bringing that out. Any other questions, concerns, ideas? This is the time. This is the floor. All right. This is the time to say, I think you brothers burn too much frankincense and myrrh. I can't see in here. All right. Really quiet crowd. All right, this is the time. Bring it out. When is the next new moon? The next new moon, I want to say, is June 4th? June 2nd? I don't know. Is it June 2nd? All right, June 2nd. What you got? Where you got third from? Where you looking at? Phases of the moon. Let me see what we got. I got June 2nd. Yeah. All right. We'll look at it again, but I got June 2nd. You said 6 a.m.? That would be the third.
10th.
It'll be the 3rd then. On the 3rd, right?
Yeah, on the 3rd. Yeah.
Then it'll be the 3rd.
We'll talk about it.
Only if it's before the service will we make it the day of. Before the sundown. You see what I'm saying?
We can talk about this.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about it. We're not sure yet. We'll get back to you by next. We have counsel on that today. All right. Wow.
Can we remind the congregation we're getting closer to the goal of getting the van and we're still contributing towards that?
Right. We also want to thank the congregation because, a lot of people contribute, has been given good offerings during the holiday season of the Passover, and I want you to continue in that spirit throughout the rest of this year. Yes, we need to get this van. We got to get closer and closer to achieving that. Don't slow down. But Kusha, continue to give your offerings. I don't have the figures off my head for you right now where we are with things, but probably by next Shabbat I'll have the figures and let you know exactly where we're at. Of course, a lot of funds went out in order to keep the Passover with all the garments that were made and all that. So we have to reconcile all those things before we could give you some sure figures where we're at. But definitely, if you wish to help out the Light of Zion with the transportation, because oftentimes we go to do camp, we go places to teach, there's 4 or 5 cars got to go. So we need to consolidate this thing. You know what I mean? So if we can break it down to a van or 2, or a van or a car, until we get 2 vans, then we're good to go. But right now we're real heavy going out with cars. A lot of cars, paying a lot of parking, paying a lot of gas, and we have to start to travel. We're at the cusp. We're about to establish another location, Light of Zion, which is Fort Pierce. Okay, we're about to establish. Those of you that have friends and family in Fort Pierce, we're on the cusp of beginning to start to establish Fort Pierce. So, Fort Pierce is about, I would say, an hour and a half, 2 hours. About 2 hours. About 2 hours from here. So our family up there that wish to commune and wish to have, services, we want to, try to establish some sort of sanctuary in that area where they can start building. So the Light of Zion is going to multiply itself, and we're going to have another location in the Fort Pierce area pretty soon. So look out for that. There's going to be more announcements when it comes to that, and how we're going to be building that location. Okay, and it's part of our work to spread what we built here and replicate it in other places. We're not trying to have schools everywhere in America, right, or everywhere on earth, but if we can set up where people have a place to go and they could have a controlled environment the way that you have enjoyed here, and we can have this somewhere else, it's all a blessing. Hallelujah. So we were looking forward to doing that, as well as probably some other places. All right, but for now, Fort Pierce is our first venture. Any other announcements you can think of while I'm up here? Nobody have any other announcements for me? Questions, concerns, ideas? Oh, come to me, sis. Absolutely. That's a very good question. That is a necessary question, a very, very good question. All right. I'm gonna hand that question over to the priest now. I'm gonna slide over to the priest that question. The sister's question was, are we in the midst of looking for a bigger place for us to commune and to have services? So,
Shalom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's always a desire, but being practical, we see people come, they be here for a little while, dispensation, they come back. So Once we see a constant build-up of constant parishioners that we know that are dedicated, making sure things are taken care of, then we can explore that. But, my past experience, we had other places where, you had different ordinances, came into there, and there's different codes and stuff that dealing with different places. Like a lot of times looking for different places. A lot of landlords don't want to extend leases to people that are opening a church. So like one time we had an agreement with a church over in Inverary, somebody that were with us, and I mean that took they had to get a permit. I mean, the guy put out at least between $15,000 and $20,000. We're getting a permit, meeting certain codes. It's a lot that goes into it. So I mean, ultimately, it would be our wish to actually purchase a property. I mean, to actually rent a place, and if it's not, if it doesn't meet actual city ordinance codes, then you got to put your money out to make it that way.
Code, yeah.
There's certain, like, it has to be certain bathrooms got to be handicap equipped. It has to be a certain size. So there's a lot of things that goes into. It's not a matter of just going to rent a place. We had a situation where right here, in the area that we're in, we're kind of under the radar. We don't get any trouble. Actually, if you see the place right here, the corner, they had multiple code issues. That's why they have people in there fixing up now. The lady couldn't even rent it out. So, once the city gets involved in a certain situation, it's hard. I mean, I've gone a lot of other places, checked different prices, they go by the square footage. So as far as big places, that's, how much it's going to cost. So there's a lot goes into that. You have, not only you have rent, you have water, you have light. So there's a lot of things that goes into that. So, ultimately that is the plan, that is the plan, but, it's got to be a consistent, donations or support. We don't want to get out there and you say, put your cat where you can't reach it type of thing. We're not 501c3. We don't get money from the government, so our fundraising is solely upon, what we collect here. So we have to keep that in mind. We don't want to go out there and then we run behind and, pretty much have a relationship here with the landlord. So you go someplace new, it might be a different, different kind of relationship. So, we see how it goes. We see some faces that appear, every week. Then, you see some faces that come maybe once a month or, every 2 months. So, you can't base it on that. You have to base it on consistency.
You have your Cash App on your YouTube account, so you guys have a fair amount of subscribers.
Right. Well, I mean, you have subscribers, but it doesn't mean that, they're all giving.
Yeah. But you guys put your
But I don't think it is up there.
It's up there.
Cash App is on YouTube?
It's up there.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really push. I mean, I know some brothers that teach, and they push it where I think while sometimes they're teaching, people donate money while they're teaching, But that's something, we talk about that in this, soldiers council, But again, all that stuff is monitored. I just many of you, you heard of the Comforter. By the time the doc actually came with the brother, I think he just pled guilty. 5. I think he's looking to do up to 5 years. So, things like this, Esau is looking to get involved in our business. So we don't want to have too much stuff out there in social media. You see that, what's the guy, what's his name? Umar Johnson. Okay, how he was, they had him up in court and stuff like that. They tried to take away his license because he was soliciting to get his school, and people was questioning, where's his school? He was collecting a lot of money, So not to say that, that is ultimately what we want to do, but again, you have situations where sometimes you have our people that are looking to tear you down. You know, it's you still have that crab in the barrel mentality. So with everything we got to, be using wisdom whatever we do. But I mean, if you come across a location that you think might be feasible, I mean, I saw a place when we were teaching over here on 19th Street, and it's pretty large. It used to be a nightclub, but the atmosphere I didn't think would be conducive for the sisters. I thought it was kind of rowdy over there. Sisters may be scared to go over there. So
Parking was rough over there too.
Yeah, the parking also. So a lot of stuff has to go into play. Parking. We got to think about parking. We got to think about safety for for our families. Things like that. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, I mean, I've also thought of that, but again, that takes dedication, it takes commitment. You understand? That's a lot of work. A lot of licensing. Insurance. It's not as easy as you think it is. I mean, there's next door. If that was really, I mean, I can talk to the landlord if that's really about it, but getting these places to meet codes and stuff like that, it's thousands of dollars to do that. Thousands of dollars, and then Lord knows, you put up those apps with pedophiles and stuff like that. This area probably wouldn't have been qualified. We probably wouldn't even be able to open something like that in this area. So all that stuff goes into consideration.
Yep.
So I mean, all this stuff. We thought about it. These are stuff that for years we looked into, but everything is going to happen in due season. But again, the sister, Hanukkah, she had bought some. At one time we did feed the homeless. We did have pantries with clothes and so forth like that. We would like to start it again. I don't know if this any sisters would want to maybe on the Shabbat during break or something like that. We start handing out stuff to maybe the homeless or people that's in need in the community. I think she said that she can get a constant supply of that. I know other people here that can bring stuff in that we can start distributing in the community. Let the people know that we're here, that that we care. So that's something that we want to try to start that again. Get the system involved, and that would be supervised by a brother too. And that's something that we should we owe it to ourselves to have in the community. So we can talk more about that. Maybe once a month we can do it. Maybe once a month we can gather everything up, and once a month we distribute it out there during break.
I have a friend. His name is David Michael, and once a month he has an organization called Save the Kids from Incarceration.
Right.
And once a month, he's been doing this for 5 years now. We feed the homeless vegan food once a month, and we bring out toiletries, clothing. So if you guys want to give donations to set out over there, because we have groups of people that come out, like 40 people, 50 people that come out and do it all day. Like not all day, 4 to 6 p.m. So we have a place where those donations can go.
Right.
Well,
but we were actually trying to start it base here.
Yeah.
Get people involved here and let people know that we're here in this community and this is what we offer to people. So this is what we're trying to get.
Go out there with him and do work.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the same people that every Saturday before I come here, I go to a garden in Overtown that we work at, and it's the same guy that does that as well in Overtown. We focus a lot on the Overtown area because there's a lot of homeless people there.
Right.
And I've been trying to get my friend to come and meet the congregation as well. He's a very good man.
Okay.
Also, when you brothers are using the bathroom, please aim, because I cleaned the floor. There was a puddle of pee on the And I'm happy to help you guys clean up. Even afterwards, if you guys need any help, I'm happy to help you clean up. But we need to aim.
Aim.
Aim right.
Aim.
Aim on point. That's all.
Aim on point.
That's all I have to say.
Aim on point.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's
It's
also
also important. Hold on, it's important to what she's saying is another. I'm going to say what she said in a different way, and I'm going to say courtesy. Right? You gotta have courtesy for your fellow brothers and sisters. There's one bathroom and there's a lot of us. So make sure you look behind yourselves and clean up after yourselves. And if you see a child going there, hey, poke your head in there, see what he did. You know what I mean? If it's one of your children going in there, make sure you go in there after them. You know what I mean? To see what they do. All right? If it's not one of your children and you see it and nobody went, then go ahead, go in there and see what he did. Because they're all our children, okay? All right? So if we see a child going in and out, which chances are is the case, all right? Go in there and take a look. It's all about having courtesy. All right? So that's exactly the things that we need to hear in this council. All right? Because we need to do the things and be reminded and mindful of the things that's going to make it better here. Okay? That's okay. Yeah, I got you. No need. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear what's going on. All right. So let's be mindful. Okay. All right.
I hope there was a K-A-N, not a C-O-N.
All right. Speaking about, we touched on giving to the homeless. Another way that organizations like this make money, other than just donations, is fundraisers, right? And we are open to fundraiser ideas. Okay, we are open to those ideas. You have a fundraiser idea, bring it forth so that we can see how we can manifest that. All right, we can make it happen. Sometimes you could take a little and you could multiply it by using a fundraiser, and it could come out to be a lot. Everybody understand that? So let's, all you innovative young people in here, all right? And some of you innovative older people, all right? Let's come with ideas. We're not turning down any idea. We want to hear it in its entirety. And we'll check it up and make sure that we can do something with it. You know what I mean? Also, when you bring an idea, be prepared to work within your idea, right? Please do not bring ideas for stuff for me to do. I got enough ideas for those things. Bring some ideas on stuff that you think you can help administer, and we can work together and get it done. Okay? Somebody's hand just went up.
I was thinking about probably on Sunday to open a car wash outside if it's not too busy. I don't know the neighbors what they do.
Right. Well, that would infringe, I think, on our immediate neighbors or somewhat, but we'll see if that's something that's possible. Unless you use because you have a container, right? You have that a mobile something. Yeah. It's probably something that we can work together on that. We'll revisit that in Soldiers Council. Yeah. All right. Just so we're not infringing on, other people and they got to park. And I mean, they've been quiet next door. They suffer us. We fill up this parking lot and the one next to it. So anybody that comes around here, we know we're not here that much. We're here enough to be a nuisance, right? So, also the parking. Remember, I know everybody wants to park near the door. But we want to fill the parking from that parking lot next to us coming back this way. We don't want to try to go on this way. So where our door is, we want to fill the parking lot this way. Even beyond the wall, even in front of the wall, behind it, all that is for us. We can park all there and work our parking back this way. Now, if all that is full, then yes, we understand you're going to start to go this way. But when you go this way, go across the parking lot and fill up those spaces first. So we can at least leave some spaces here for the one shop that is open. But the time is coming where it may not be so open. Right now, we're wide open. All these shops next to us are closed. Nobody's there, so we're utilizing all their parking. But we got to be prepared that if they do put somebody there, we got to start parking on the side of the wall. Okay. So we have Micah Ara, we have Bayav, we have Manatazar. They're out there to help instruct you on where to park. If they ask you to park somewhere, just park there. Are we out? All right. So parking is another issue. What else we got? Anything else? We got parking. We got Oswald Park up here. Everybody got the address? Huh? June 16th. June 16th. I think we're good. All right, so at this time, we're going to send the closing prayer and the praise, giving the Most High all His glory that is due unto His name. I thank everyone for coming out and keeping their Shabbat day with the light of Zion. We appreciate every one of you attending with us. Even all those online, we appreciate them as well. All right, so with that being said, we're going to go to Shofar and finish Shirashim. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Who's the power? Who's the power? By Hashem! By Hashem! Kurash, Kurash, Kurash! Kurash, Kurash, Kurash! Holy, holy, holy is the name of Noah, Yahweh. Holy, holy, holy is the name of Mashiach, Yahushai. Kwam Abanawi Yahweh. Kwam Abanawi Yahweh. Kwam Mashiach Yahushai. Kwam Mashiach Yahushai. Kwam Yashua. Kwam Yashua. Barakatah Yahweh. Bahashem. Hamashiach. Yahushai. Ahawa'ah. B'Talanawa. HaShabbat. Bashalom. Barakashah. Shemai. Zaparayim. Barak. Warapah. Rakazak. Ramagan. Rashma'al. Akim. Ra. Akvathim. Barakashav. Yahweh. Bahashem. Hamashiach. Yahushai. Yachak. Shaitan. Yachak. Shaitan. Yachak. Kol. Rai. L'chaim. Yachak. Kol. Rai. L'chaim. Barakashav. 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 All praises be to the power of Amos and Jacob for his mercy, truly endure forever. We thank thee, Yahweh, for giving us the Shabbat day of peace. We ask you to continue to bless, heal, protect, and make strong all the children of Israel. As well, we ask Yahweh to kill all evil spirits, to put a hedge around every household that Satan no break through and steal. Baruch Yahweh, be with us throughout this week. Guide us in our minds and our spirit. Let us show thy light everywhere we go. Let us show forth thy wisdom as we talk, as we go to and fro, and we converse with thy children. All this we ask in the name of thy Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh. By Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, throughout the yard, Amen. The Most High, hallelujah. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's go. In the mouth of babes. In the mouth of babes. in the mouth of babes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. One more time. In the mouth of babes. In the mouth of babes. In the mouth of babes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, glory, glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah. Wish I to be our ruler. Our enemy shall fall right before our feet, while the saints go marching. From the top, from the top. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah. Wish I to be our ruler. Our enemy shall fall right before our feet, while the marching. Hold on, while the saints come on and on and on and on, while the saints come marching. While the saints come marching. Real. Yahweh shines more to me. Hallelujah. Gives me the victory. Many people, but I can't live with. That is why Yahweh shine. One more time. Real. Hallelujah. Oh, yes. Gives me the victory. Many people that I can't live with. That is why Yahweh shine. One more time. Real. Hallelujah. Gives me the victory. Many people that I can't live with. That is why Yahweh shine. There's no power. There's no power. Great King of the universe, always doing. Let all Israel sing it. Sing amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. From the top. There's no power. Great King of the always doing. Let all Israel sing amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's count it off for the one. Let's count it for the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit it. Israel. Lady, when I'm sleeping and my spirit start to creeping in my One more time for the top. Let's go. 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brothers, wake up. 5, 6. Hit it. Israel. Israel. Lady, when I'm sleeping and my spirit start to creeping in my boy, in my boy, in my boy. Let's get to heaven. Let's go. When I get to heaven, people gonna say, how'd you earn your living? How'd you earn your pay? And I replied with a little bit of anger. I'm not living as an Israelite ranger. I carry my Bible by my side. Gonna carry my Bible till the day I die. Israel. One more time. Israel. Hallelujah. 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 Praise his name. Praise his name. Praise his name. Praise his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise his name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praises.